The anime begins with a hardcore gamer named Alan, who beats a super difficult game without taking any damage. Instead of feeling proud he's bored that it was too easy, he wants something that can actually challenge him. Then he sees an ad for a game that never ends, that catches his attention. Even better, there's a hell mode, said to be so brutal it drives players into despair. Confident in his skills, Alan jumps in and even picks the hardest class, a summoner. Suddenly he gets pulled into the game and is reincarnated as a newborn baby. A year later, his mother Teresa is feeding him while Alan reflects on his past life, which he considers miserable. He's grateful for this fresh start. Even though he can't speak yet, he understands everything since everyone in this world speaks Japanese. He learns that they live in a small village under a ruling lord, and his father Rodan is a hardworking man who deeply cares about his family. One problem though, Alan still hasn't figured out how to open his status window. One day a mysterious book appears in front of him. Startled, he screams, but quickly pretends he was just talking in his sleep when his parents rush in. After they leave, he opens the book and discovers it's his grimoire. It shows he has summoner skills, but he can only summon weak H-rank creatures like insects. There's also a letter from the god of creation apologizing for the delay and mentioning his class is still being tested. Alan tries summoning but nothing happens, so he experiments and creates an insect card. The next day, when his parents are busy, he successfully summons a grasshopper. It doesn't follow commands, acting purely on instinct. He names it Denka and notices it boosts his stats, which excites him. Unfortunately, his mother sees it and crushes it instantly. He keeps experimenting and eventually summons a mouse. Learning it has a skill called Scurry. He realizes his summons are weak, but stacking cards gives him stat boosts. After collecting enough mouse cards, he becomes strong enough to cut wood, though he knows leveling up in hell mode is insanely hard. One day his father returns home covered in blood after hunting a powerful boar with others. The village celebrates, and Alan learns how dangerous monsters really are. As time passes, Alan levels up and unlocks G-rank summons and new abilities like fusion. He creates stronger creatures, including a bird he names Chappie, which can mimic voices, along with a frog and a mole with useful abilities. Despite his growth, he still struggles physically. He loses a duel to his neighbor Krina and realizes he needs more than just stat boosts. He continues training while helping his family, especially his pregnant mother. During winter he improves further, but suddenly Teresa goes into labor. With help from Krina's mother, she gives birth to a baby boy named Mash. Holding his new brother, Alan reflects on his second chance. He has no regrets leaving his old life behind. This time he's determined to grow stronger, escape poverty, and give his family a better life. When Alan turns 5, he asks his father about the appraisal ceremony. Rodan explains that every child takes part and their talent decides their future. Alan travels with his family along with Gerda and Krina to the commoner village where the ceremony is held. There he overhears people talking about him being a serf, the lowest class, and looks down on him. The officials welcome everyone and remind them that even heroes have risen from poor backgrounds. Inside, Alan notices statues of the gods, including the god of creation Elmia. The ceremony begins. One by one, children place their hands on a crystal ball to reveal their stats and talent. The village chief's son Palomas is declared to have merchant talent, making his father proud. Another boy gets no talent at all. Then Dogora steps up and is told he has the talent of an axe user, earning praise as the first with an A-rank attribute. Soon it's Krina's turn. When she touches the crystal, it shines brightly. The officials are stunned and announce she has the rare talent of a sword lord, one of the best classes. Everyone celebrates, especially her father Gerda. Then it's Alan's turn. Expecting to be revealed as a summoner, he touches the crystal, but a flash knocks him down. The officials announce he has no talent, and all his stats are E-rank. Even the talent text seems broken. Alan suspects it's a glitch and blames poor game design. But Rodan doesn't care and tells him it's time to go home. Back home, his parents comfort him, saying talent doesn't matter and that he's still their pride. Despite their poverty, Alan feels lucky to have such loving parents. That night he reflects on the results and concludes that his low stats are because he's playing on hell mode, where progress is much slower. The system likely didn't show his true potential. Even so, he remains determined to win. The next day they visit Krina to congratulate her. Her family suggests celebrating, but Rodan refuses. Then Gerda suddenly says they should stop associating with each other. Everyone is shocked. Rodan explains it's because Krina will join the nobility, and being seen with serfs could hurt her future. The the two men argue until their wives calm them down. It's revealed they've been friends since childhood and used to fight often, but family life has softened them. Later news spreads that knights are coming to see Krina. Back at the village, Dogora mocks Alan for having no talent, but Krina defends him. Soon Captain Xenoph and his knights arrive. He demands to see the Sword Lord and challenges Krina to a duel to test her strength. When Gerda hesitates, Xenoph threatens her life, forcing her to accept. Krina eagerly takes up a sword and faces Vice Captain Leibrand. Though he initially overpowers her, she gets back up and unleashes a powerful aura. She pushes him back and even cuts his sword in half. Winning the duel, Xenoph is impressed and apologizes, admitting her talent is genuine. Later they gather to discuss her future. Xenoph explains the kingdom is cautious because nobles have faked talents before. He invites Krina to train and join the academy at 12. Dogora also wants to join and Krina encourages Alan, but Dogora doubts him. Xenoph then recognizes Rodan as the hunter who defeated the Great Boar and praises him as a hero. Alan is surprised to learn his father is respected by nobles. On the way home, Rodan reminds him that even serfs can earn recognition through hard work, and they should always take pride in what they do. After some time, Alan finally levels up his summoner skill and unlocks a new ability called Enhance, which lets him strengthen his monsters. He can now create F-rank creatures, though he still needs to fuse them to get better ones. His card limit also increases from 20 to 30, giving him more room for buffs, and he's excited to keep experimenting. That evening, Teresa is pregnant again. Mash wonders if it's a boy, but she guesses it's a girl. Rodan starts thinking of names, but she reminds him she'll choose if it's a daughter. Alan notices a scar on Rodan's arm has vanished. Rodan explains it's because he passed something called a Trial of the Gods, a moment during hunts where hunters gain a burst of energy that heals wounds and fatigue. Alan compares it to leveling up and realizes Rodan must be very experienced. Alan's still level 1 since he hasn't fought monsters, asks to join a hunt, but Rodan refuses because it's too dangerous. That night, Alan gets a message from the game developers saying they fixed the appraisal glitch. His real stats show he's actually as talented as Krina, just in a different way as a summoner. He tests his enhanced skill on Denka, boosting its stats, but its buff ability doesn't change. When he summons it, his mother sees it again and crushes it instantly. The next day, while doing chores, Alan experiments with fusion and unlocks a grass-type card. When he summons it, it appears as an apple which he names Oppo. It isn't for combat but has an aroma ability. When activated, it plants itself and turns into a sapling that gives off a calming scent. Alan later realizes it helps him recover mana faster, letting him use more spells daily. Even with his progress, Alan still loses to Krina in fights. Though she admits he's improving, his sword skill reaches level 3, and his buffs make him stronger but not enough yet. He keeps training, though sometimes it feels pointless. One night, Rodan is carried home injured after a hunt. Gerda explains they used an expensive healing herb, paid for with the gold coin Xenoph gave him. The problem started when untrained commoners joined the hunt, hoping for rewards. They failed their role and ruined the plan, forcing Rodan to step in and save one of them, which led to his injury. Although the boar was defeated, the damage was done. Alan feels frustrated that he hasn't been able to help his family. When Rodan wakes up, Alan decides to take responsibility as the eldest. He starts helping with heavy work, easily carrying water and harvesting crops, surprising everyone with his strength. He focuses all his buffs on physical stats, sacrificing magic power to support his family. Gerda is impressed by his ability, and Alan works hard to gather food, knowing they must give half to the Baron. When the boy who caused the accident apologizes, Rodan forgives him, showing his kindness despite everything. Later, Alan goes hunting on his own. He uses his frogs as bait to catch a bird, but instead encounters a powerful monster called an albaheron. It's far stronger than expected. Still, Alan charges in and attacks, but gets knocked down. He summons his creatures to fight, but they're defeated and he loses his buffs. Weak and struggling to stand, he realizes he might actually die as the monster moves in to finish him. Alan quickly reacts in battle by summoning worms to drain the monster's energy while his dogs keep it distracted. He lands a clean hit to its head and defeats the albaheron, earning 100 XP. Excited, he realizes he actually enjoyed the fight. He brings the monster home and claims it was a surprise attack, but Rodan notices a cut on his cheek. Gerda teaches him how to process the albaharan, explaining its weight drops after drying and that most of it must be given as tax. He also removes a magic stone which must go to the nobles. Knowing Alan is too young to hunt, Gerda plans to use that to negotiate. They meet the village chief and offer the wings as tax while asking to keep the rest. At first the chief refuses due to increased demands from the baron, but Gerda trades the magic stone and pleads their case, mentioning Rodan's injury. The chief agrees and even accepts Alan's idea to apply the same deal to future hunts. Alan then starts farming albaharans, using frogs as bait and coordinating attacks with worms and dogs. He defeats more and gains enough XP to finally level up after 6 years. His stats recover, though the increase is smaller than expected due to Hell mode. Still, he's satisfied. He brings home more monsters, impressing Rodan, but continues training with Krina and still loses to her. That night Alan finally tells his parents the truth, claiming he was blessed by the god Elmia with power and wisdom. He explains his slow growth confused the appraisal results and asks them to keep his abilities secret. Rodan supports him and promises to help if needed. During winter Alan goes with Gerda to learn trading. He learns that serfs must give 60% of their goods as tax, while commoners pay fixed gold instead. To become commoners, a family must pay 10 gold coins per person. Calculating the cost, Alan realizes he would need to hunt hundreds of monsters to raise his family's status. In the market he checks prices and learns that albaharan jerky sells for silver coins. At a herb shop he asks about the rare flower used to save Rodan. The shopkeeper explains Gerda convinced him to sell it for less than its value to save a life. Grateful Alan gives him jerky for free. Later Dogwara confronts him and demands he become his follower. Alan refuses and defeats him easily in a fight, proving his growth. At home Rodan recovers fully, which relieves everyone. Days pass with Alan training and helping the family. He notices Mash enjoys fighting with a stick and thinks he may have talent as a spear user. One night Rodan returns late with news. The chief wants commoners to join hunts again because the baron increased the quota. If they fail, more serfs will be brought in. Rodan and Gerda worry, but Alan points out that meeting quotas won't help since the demands will keep rising. Instead he suggests training the commoners properly so they can actually help. Though Gerda doubts them, Alan is confident, believing his knowledge and blessings from Elmia will guide them to a better solution. Alan joins the hunters, but only as a strategist. Rodan refuses to let him fight, so Alan focuses on helping from the back and training the commoners. As they head out he notices the distant White Dragon Mountains, said to be home to a mythical creature. In the forest the hunters take positions. A boar charges in and the usual strategy begins. Gerda's group stops it while Rodan's team holds it down. This method has worked for years, but Alan changes one thing. Instead of using commoners as bait, he puts them on the attack. Under his orders they strike together and successfully help kill the boar. They even gain strength after completing a trial of the gods. Alan realizes they earned a lot of experience, but he got nothing since he didn't fight. Later he helps the serfs with chores and talks to a butcher, offering him albaharan meat in exchange for cutting it. It's cheaper than hiring town butchers, so the man agrees. Alan continues bringing in more commoners to train, hoping to form more hunting groups. Still he wonders why the baron keeps demanding more boars when there's no clear shortage. During another hunt the same plan works again, and the commoners grow stronger. This time Alan levels up too by summoning Denka and letting it get killed during the fight, making him part of the battle. He feels guilty but accepts it as part of his growth. After 3 months the village meets its quota. The chief rewards Alan and both families celebrate together. Alan brings out a bottle of liquor he received as a gift. Rodan and Gerda want it, but Alan challenges them to arm wrestling. If he wins they must let him hunt. He first faces Gerda. Despite Gerda's confidence Alan wins using his boosted strength. Then he faces Rodan. Even with all his effort Alan loses easily. He realizes his father is far stronger and accepts defeat. Rodan tells him he can only hunt when he's strong enough to beat him. Months later Alan levels up again and unlocks E-rank creatures. His card limit increases and he gains a new skill called storage, which lets him store items in his grimoire. He discovers its true purpose when he uses stored magic stones to create stronger summons. He successfully creates a giant butterfly, and later an E-rank beast he names Tama, which boosts his stats. Trying to fuse creatures he realizes he needs more magic stones. Rodan tells him the horned rabbits that drop them no longer come near the village due to traps. Alan then learns from others that low-rank magic stones can be found on the ground. He starts collecting them with help from villagers. With enough stones, he creates several E-rank summons and begins to understand their roles. Insects weaken enemies, beasts focus on attack, birds gather information, plants heal, and stone creatures defend. He imagines how powerful they could be together, and realizes summoners can fill every role in battle, making them extremely versatile. The village chief tells Rodan and Gerda that the Baron will visit to observe their boar hunts. He asks Rodan to bring Alan along as a guide since he's smarter than most kids. Alan doesn't want the role, but he knows this could help his family rise in status, something that would normally take years. A month later, Baron Gran arrives and apologizes for increasing the hunting quota, saying it was the king's order. During a meal, he praises the taste of the meat. When the chief struggles to explain, Alan steps in and says it's Albaharan meat cooked with herbs. Gran is impressed and curious about him, but learns Alan is from a serf family. His daughter Celia looks down on that, but Gran corrects her, saying serfs are still part of the kingdom. Xenoph offers help with hunting, but Alan confidently says they can manage. The next day they take Gran to the forest. From a watchtower, Alan explains their strategy and gear. The hunters soon locate a boar and execute their plan perfectly. Teams trap it, strike together, and Rodan finishes it. Celia faints at the sight of blood, but Gran is impressed. When two more boars appear, the hunters split into groups and defeat them smoothly. Seeing this, Gran believes they can meet any quota. Alan then makes two requests. First, he asks for better shields to improve their defense. Secondly, he suggests trading extra meat for liquor to prevent prices from crashing. Xenoph supports him, explaining that alcohol would help maintain morale among hunters. Gran agrees to consider both ideas and praises Alan. Later, Gran rewards Rodan, Gerda, and other veteran hunters by raising their families to commoner status. Alan is thrilled, as this means more freedom and new opportunities. Gran also reveals the king wants to learn about their success. When asked about the past, Gerda shares how the village once struggled after a boar destroyed their crops. Rodan led the first hunt, but lost a close friend, something he still regrets. Moved by this, Gran offers another reward. Rodan asks for Alan to work at the Baron's estate, and Gran appoints him as a manservant. Alan doesn't like the idea since it limits his freedom, but he accepts after seeing how proud and emotional his father is. Before leaving, Alan challenges Krina to one last duel. To everyone's surprise, he keeps up with her and even wins, though he calls it a draw and promises they'll settle it in the future. His family says their goodbyes, and Alan encourages Mash to stay strong and protect their sister. As he leaves, Dogora secretly gives him a knife as a farewell gift. Alan rides away in the Baron's carriage. Watching his home disappear, he realizes he may never see his family again and quietly breaks down in tears. Alan arrives at Baron Gran's estate and starts working as a servant. One day he helps Celia pick fruit, but she hates the taste and throws it away, ordering him to get something better. Suddenly, a flying magic ship appears overhead, and Alan is amazed that magic stones can power something so large. The next day, he settles into his routine. He meets the head servant Rick, who explains how the estate works and tells him that even lower-ranked servants are considered part of the Baron's household. Alan realizes why his father was happy for him. At breakfast, Gran's wife praises Alan's quick learning. Though Gran mentions he has no talent, Celia brags about being a wizard while her brother is a swordsman. Another brother, Thomas, feels left out because he has no talent, but Gran comforts him, saying he can still attend a noble school like he once did. During his free time, Alan visits the Adventurers Guild hoping to register, but he's too young. He still gathers information about monsters from an adventurer named Raven. He learns stronger monsters live closer to the White Dragon Mountains and hears about a deadly creature no one dares to hunt, along with a white dragon that has a massive bounty. Determined, Alan sneaks out of the estate and heads into the forest. He summons intelligent bird creatures to scout and finds goblins. Using his summons like beasts and insects, he defeats them and earns a lot of experience. He keeps hunting and leveling up, eventually reaching level 12 after weeks of non-stop grinding. He also learns which magic stones are useful for creating stronger summons. After a month, he starts buying iron balls to use as weapons. Gran and his butler notice Alan coming home late and question him. He admits he's been hunting monsters. Instead of punishing him, they allow it and even offer to buy horned rabbit meat from him, giving him a way to earn money. 6 months later, while hunting, Alan's birds suddenly act strangely and lead him to Raven's party. which is under attack by goblins, Alan joins the fight without revealing his summons. With his high stats he helps defeat the enemies, but Raven is badly injured and their healer has no mana left. Alan uses a special healing item from one of his plant summons to instantly heal Raven. In return he asks them to keep his abilities secret and collect E-rank magic stones for him. They agree and leave. Afterward Alan realizes his healing item is far more effective than normal medicine. He also notices his bird acted on its own to help Raven's group, showing that his summons have feelings. He apologizes for scolding it and begins to trust them more. Back at the estate Alan helps Celia reach a jar of jam. She explains she wants to bake cookies for her older brother when he returns. As she grabs it Alan loses his balance and the jar falls and breaks, ending the moment in chaos. During a meal with Baron Grand's family, Xenoph reports that Krina's village has met the boar quota. Alan is glad but Thomas complains they haven't had much meat. Curiously he asks Alan to hunt a white deer, a dangerous C-rank monster. Despite the risk Alan accepts the challenge. In the forest his bird scout finds a white deer that just defeated goblins. Alan uses frogs to lure it into a trap and finishes it with his knife. When he carries the huge creature back to the estate the guards panic at first. Thomas is thrilled for the New Year feast, though Alan notes it didn't give much experience. Gran begins to suspect Alan may be more capable than he seems. That night Seabass offers Alan a new role as a huntsman. His duties will include hunting monsters and protecting the land with a steady salary. Even though he could earn more per hunt, Alan accepts since it gives him time to keep grinding for experience. He will still serve Celia most days. Soon a magic ship arrives with Celia's older brother Mihai, who studies at the academy. Mihai quickly notices Alan's ability and is impressed. Later Alan watches Mihai duel Xenoph and sees how strong he has become. Xenoph then has Alan spar with Mihai. Despite being level 20 Alan is easily defeated. Mihai is faster and stronger showing the gap in training. Alan realizes Mihai's growth is much faster because he lives and trains under better conditions. Still Mihai respects him and agrees to spar again in the future. Alan decides he wants to grow strong enough to leave his servant role without disappointing his father. After Mihai leaves Alan continues training but notices Celia crying. Around the same time Viscount Carnal visits the estate. Alan serves him food and senses tension. As Carnal is Gran's rival, the meal is made with cheap meat not boar, which shows Gran's dislike. They discuss the White Dragon Mountains where valuable mithril mines exist. A powerful dragon blocks access on Gran's side, hurting his land while Carnal benefits from safer mines. Carnal mentions his daughter's appraisal result, saying she has no talent, but he seems pleased confusing Alan. He starts to wonder why having talent might actually be a burden for nobles. Months later Alan reaches level 24 and looks for stronger monsters. Raven warns him about the danger but Alan continues. He successfully hunts an orc and gains good experience. However, when he fights an armored ant he struggles. His attacks barely work, and even with high strength he can't break its armor easily. After a tough fight he wins but can't extract its magic stone. He realizes some enemies require different strategies. With his intelligence now very high Alan wonders if he can learn magic. On his first anniversary at the estate he asks a teacher to test him. Using a crystal ball the test shows he has no ability to cast spells. Alan is frustrated, feeling like his summoner class limits him despite all his effort. One evening Gran's family is having dinner when an alarm suddenly rings. Rick reports that a powerful B-rank monster Murdergausch is heading toward the city and will arrive in 2 hours. With the nights away Gran considers calling adventurers, but Alan steps forward and volunteers to handle it. Celia objects but Alan reminds her he is also the family's huntsman. At the gate panic spreads as people try to escape. A man begs for help as his family is trapped in a carriage. The monster appears and grabs it, but Alan throws an iron ball at its eye and draws its attention. Instead of fighting directly he lures it into the forest. He runs for his life knowing he has no chance in a direct fight. Even when his mana recovers and he tries to use his summons, the monster easily destroys them. After 3 days of being chased Alan finally escapes and returns to the city in terrible condition. He wakes up later and everyone is relieved he survived. He reports everything honestly admitting he couldn't defeat the monster. Still Xenoph praises him for saving the city by leading it away. Gran rewards him with gold, along with extra money from the family he saved. With this, Alan buys a mithril sword. Using his new weapon, he can now cut through tougher monsters like armored ants and collect their magic stones. He begins experimenting with his summons and discovers that newly summoned copies can share knowledge from previous ones. Months later, Alan spars with Mihai again. Now at level 28 he has improved, but he still loses. Mihai acknowledges his progress, but the gap remains. Soon after, news arrives that the White Dragon has moved to another region. Gran orders Xenoph to investigate so mining can resume, but the area is still dangerous. Alan realizes that once the knights clear the area, he won't be able to hunt there freely. Wanting to take advantage of the opportunity, he starts experimenting again. After reaching level 5 in his summoner skill, he unlocks a new ability called Share. When he uses it on his bird, he can see and hear through its senses. He tests it further and learns he can connect with multiple summons at once, though it strains him at first. By boosting his intelligence, he increases the number of summons he can control at the same time. He then sends out stronger creatures to hunt on their own while he observes through them. Working together, his summons can defeat even C-rank monsters. Each type plays a role, some attack, some support, and others gather information. He also uses a plant summon to restore his mana, allowing him to keep farming experience without stopping. Realizing how powerful this system is, he lets his summons hunt while he stays safe. At one point he thinks about his family. Using his bird, he checks on them from afar and secretly leaves them gold to help with their life. Seeing that they are doing well makes him happy, and he decides to keep supporting them from a distance. Xenoph reports to Gran that the mines are now overrun by monsters, and nearby villages have been taken by orcs and goblins. Clearing everything could take 3 years, but Gran wants at least one mine working soon. Xenoph also warns that Karnal tried to mine on his side, but the White Dragon burned his workers alive. Gran suspects Karnal may act out of desperation. Meanwhile, Alan realizes the knights will soon wipe out the monsters, so he decides to act first. While working at the estate, he secretly sends his summons to hunt. He targets a goblin village, knowing they will keep attacking humans if left alone. His bears crush the goblins, including their king, and Alan gains over 40,000 XP. Seeing the reward, he begins destroying other goblin villages. Months later, Mihai returns home, but something feels off. He challenges Alan to another duel. Now older and stronger, Alan fights with better speed, but Mihai still overpowers him and wins. Mihai praises him but refuses to train him, saying he must leave to fulfill a noble's duty. He promises to return in 3 years, but Alan notices he seems uneasy. After Mihai leaves, Alan continues hunting and wipes out all goblin villages nearby. He then attacks an orc settlement. His summons handle the weaker enemies, but things turn serious when orc mages and a powerful orc king appear. The king, who's a B-rank monster, easily destroys his bears. Alan panics as his defenses fall apart and realizes he cannot win. Just as he's about to be defeated, Xenoph arrives. He takes on the orc king alone, blocking its attacks and cutting through enemies with ease. His strength shocks Alan, especially when he kills the orc king in a single strike. Alan wonders how someone so strong once lost to Krina. Later, Xenoph confronts Alan, revealing he already knows about his summons and that Gran is aware too. Instead of exposing him, Xenoph makes a deal. Alan must share information about monster hunts with the knights. Since their goals are the same, Alan agrees, though he's surprised Xenoph survived such serious wounds. 2 weeks later, Alan defeats another orc village using a smarter strategy, surrounding enemies so they can't organize. He gains over 300,000 XP, far more than before, and feels he's improving. Then tragedy strikes. A royal messenger arrives with Mihai's diary and news of his death after just 6 months. Gran is furious, believing his son was used as a sacrifice. After the messenger leaves, Mihai's mother breaks down, and Alan realizes Mihai knew he would die. Gran explains the truth of the noble's duty to Celia, leaving her shaken. She runs away in distress. Later, Rick reveals that Gran's own family members also died young for the same duty. When they discover Celia is missing and panic spreads, Alan realizes she escaped through a window and may be in danger. Determined to protect her, he rushes out to find her before something terrible happens. Celia hides in an alley, grieving Mihai's death, but Alan finds her using his owl. She asks if he came to take her home. He says he's just doing his job, then notices she's hungry and gives her food. As she cries, she admits she doesn't want to die for the noble's duty. Alan tells her she can choose her own path and even suggests becoming an adventurer. She remembers Mihai chose his fate himself. In the end she decides to go home, but her legs hurt so Alan carries her back. Her family is relieved. Gran promises he'll restart the mines and give the rights to the royal family so Celia can avoid the noble's duty, but she decides to follow Mihai's path anyway. 6 months later Alan has wiped out orc villages and collects a B-rank magic stone from an orc king. Xenoph confirms the mines can reopen soon. Though Gran worries about Karnal, Alan heads to the White Dragon Mountains to hunt. He finds an armored ant colony with thousands of soldiers guarding their queen. Unable to enter directly, he sends his summons to attack. For a month Alan fights non-stop but can't destroy the colony. Even after killing thousands, more ants keep coming. In the second month the attacks slow down. Realizing progress, he sends owls inside and maps the maze-like nest. After struggling to control multiple summons, he finally locates the queen. He enters the nest with his bears, defeats the guards and overwhelms the queen. Surprised it was easier than expected, he guesses the queen weakened after producing soldiers. He camps overnight and takes mithril ore as proof. Back at the estate, Gran and Xenoph doubt his story until he shows the ore and a map of the nest. Convinced, they investigate and confirm a new mithril vein. Gran rewards Alan with 30% of the mining rights, which turns out to be a huge opportunity. At age 12 Alan sees the mines running again. Things seem stable but he doesn't like staying comfortable. Soon a royal messenger arrives with Karnal and proposes that Gran share control of the mines and split profits. Gran refuses for now, wanting to verify things in the capital. Tension rises as accepting would look weak, but rejecting it could cause trouble. Suddenly a disturbance breaks out. Alan rushes to Celia's room and finds her being kidnapped. He tries to stop them but a smoke bomb knocks him out. When he wakes up he's tied up with Celia on a flying ship. Using his birds he scouts the area and realizes they've been taken far away. He overhears the kidnappers led by Dagra, planning to sell Alan and use Celia as leverage. They even claim Dagra is strong enough to rival Xenoph. Alan spots Karnal on the ship and realizes this was planned. When Celia wakes and panics, the kidnappers try to silence her. Taking advantage of the moment, Alan summons a butterfly to distract them. As they deal with it, he breaks free and prepares to fight back. Alan summons his monsters, catching the kidnappers off guard and quickly knocks them out. He frees Celia but Dagra suddenly returns and instantly overpowers him. Just as things get worse, Alan uses his bird to distract Dagra and his spider to bind him, then escapes with Celia while his shield monster holds him back. Seeing they're close to the ground, Alan takes a risky jump, puts all his stats into endurance and survives the fall. Celia starts asking questions about his powers, but Alan tells her to focus on escaping. Using his owls to scout, he sees Dagra chasing them, so he runs through rooftops and forests to avoid leaving footprints. They camp briefly and Celia asks why he hid his abilities. Alan admits he knew it would only bring trouble. After days of running they reach a checkpoint, but Alan spots Dagra closing in again and refuses to stop. Celia suggests he leave her, but he refuses, remembering his promise to Mihai. Soon after, a murder gauche appears and starts chasing them too. Realizing he can't escape, both Alan decides to fight. He uses everything he has. Spiders bind it, bears attack, but the monster destroys his summons and grabs him. Just before it eats him, Alan shifts all his stats into HP and stabs its eye, finally killing it. Exhausted but alive, he celebrates briefly until Dagra catches up. Alan tries to hold him off but gets crushed instantly. Celia steps in and fires a spell, surprising everyone, but Dagra knocks her aside. Alan provokes him, calling him a coward who ran from war. Enraged, Dagra brutally beats him, but Alan was stalling. Xenoph arrives just in time. Dagra attacks, but Xenoph easily blocks and kills him in one strike. Celia safely returns home and Alan explains everything, revealing that Karnal and the royal messenger planned the kidnapping to force Gran into a deal. Karnal is exposed and punished. Later, Alan learns the truth about the nobles' duty. Talented nobles are forced into military service to fight a massive demon army that has threatened the world for over a century. The academy exists to train them, and many die in battle. Alan realizes his village's hunting quota was to supply food for this war. Gran rewards Alan for saving Celia and defeating the monster. He asks Alan to escort Celia to the academy and protect her during her service. In return, Alan reveals he is a summoner and makes 2 requests. His family should be freed from taxes, and he no longer wants to be a manservant. Gran agrees and gives him a sword. Symbolizing his new status as an honored ally, Alan understands that this marks the end of one chapter of his life. He was once confused about being reborn as a serf, but now he sees it gave him the strength and experience he needed for what lies ahead. And that's where this anime ends. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel.